Just a reminder, everybody in here, if you would please mute your cell phones and do not take any videos or stream with your cell phone. We will pass the microphone around after you raise your hand in here. Please identify yourself by name and your affiliation. And then if you're on Zoom, we will get to you your questions as well. Use the raise hand feature. So we would like to welcome in the Harvard student athletes to the press conference. Harmony Turner is here. Glad to have you as well.
Thank you.
Also, let's see, Elena Rodriguez is here, and Abigail Wright. So if you guys have any questions in the room, please start and fire away. And if you don't, I do. I'm curious about, go ahead, Bob. Go.
Bob Sutton with the Associated Press. For any of the players, you've had some success against some Power 5 or Power 4 or 5 teams, including the Big Ten. How much confidence does that give you going into this matchup?
It gives us a lot of confidence. I think we had a lot of emphasis this year of this season being about us and not necessarily worrying about a lot of all of our opponents. And I think that it, for the most part, has turned out for the better for us.
Elena, take that same question, please.
Yes, I mean, it's been great to play against these 4 or 5 teams before in our schedule, but it doesn't mean anything. I mean, we still have to show up tomorrow and do our best. So yeah, it gives us a lot of confidence to have play against similar teams, similar style of plays, but still it doesn't mean anything, and we're gonna do our best tomorrow to still get the win.
Abigail?
Yeah, I think that they kind of said it best, but this year has been about us, and I think that this is kind of our opportunity to prove ourselves and prove that the Ivy League deserves to be in March Madness every single year. So we're ready for it. Our preparation has been on point, and I think that we're just ready to get after it tomorrow.
Questions in the room over here to the left.
Really easy one. One, how was the send-off? And then 2, how did you guys get settled in? And then did you guys catch any of the games last night, obviously, Columbia and so on and so forth? And what is it like to have a Ivy team show out already?
Abigail, let's start with you.
Yeah, the send-off was awesome. I think that, this is all of our first times in March Madness, so it's just been a really cool experience to begin with. Settling in and getting to watch some of the games last night was also awesome. It's great to see Ivy League representation, and, getting that dub last night is huge for the league, and just, excited to see what we can do as well.
Elena?
Totally, flying all together to North Carolina, having this experience all together has been amazing. But I feel having that experience to watch the games, especially with Columbia and Princess Abigail said, has been amazing to see how Ivy League is doing in this big stage. But at the same time, we're very excited for tomorrow and very lucky with us.
Harmony?
Yeah, it felt amazing feeling all that support from Harvard on our send-off. It was really nice to feel that a lot of people have our backs. And then watching those games yesterday, pretty much what everyone else was saying, it's good for the Ivy League, especially Columbia's win. I think it says a lot about that we're not just one-dimensional people. And yeah, I'm really excited. I can't wait for tomorrow. So yeah, let's get it.
I have a question for you. With this being Harvard's first NCAA tournament since 2007, you guys were probably either a little young or maybe not even born then. Some people have experience to rely upon. What do you guys rely upon to make the step in the tournament to kind of treat it as another game, but yet it is not going to be another game or another environment? Harmony, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think you kind of answered it a little bit. They put on their jerseys just like we do. We're walking in this fearless. I feel like our preparation is really great, and we're having fun throughout the process. I'm incredibly proud of my teammates. I feel like we've come a long ways, and we don't want to just stop here. We've come too far to not just come this far. And I think we're also just enjoying ourselves, enjoying our company, having fun, and, again, making a statement that nerds can play basketball too. So,
Elena.
Yeah, I mean, I think this question I can answer with one of our 2 core values, joy and unity. I think if we play together and we have fun out there, it doesn't matter if we have experience or not. I feel like we're just going to enjoy the moment and make the most out of this experience, because at the end of the day, we've worked to be here and we've earned the right to be here, so we're just going to make the most out of it.
Abigail?
Yeah, not much else to say. I think that from the second we stepped on campus in the fall, it's been about the work and the prep. And I think that, we've had the experience in the schedule that we played this year. Coach Moore, scheduled that on purpose so that we would be ready for moments like this. And I think that that's exactly what we're ready to do, compete with joy and be united.
Far left here in the room.
Just because I didn't get to ask it during the tournament, but this one's about Elena. But you have a role as a playmaker, and obviously during the tournament you had 9 dimes, but there's like a lot of responsibility on you to be at the top, look at your cutters, look for the people coming off those curls. Like, how did you develop that playmaking skill set, and then how have you seen them kind of, and both of you kind of are in that role a little bit, but how have you seen her develop in that role, and how have you developed in that role?
Honestly, I feel like it's been part of my game. I feel like one of my most valuable skills as a player, it's having the light vision, like that basketball IQ. So I feel like the coaches have done a great job of like putting me in the top of the key and like giving me that confidence to make decisions. And also like kudos to my teammates because they know exactly where to go and like how to move off the ball. So they just make my job like way easier. So I'm very grateful for them too. So as far as I have the ball, but they also have to move the ball really well. So it's definitely a huge part because of them.
Honestly, I think Elena is just a natural talent. You don't see that finesse very often with a lot of special people. Elena's very special. She's kind of like my partner in crime out there, and just seeing her work is just a beautiful thing. Especially like, everyone else is getting a lot of like attention. Elena deserves the same. And I feel like she's been doing a really great job this season of just allowing her finesse to take over. And we just sitting there and just like, watching the show. But it's nothing new. We see it all day in practice. It's nothing new. And I'm excited for the world to see what else she has to do.
Yeah, I second that. I think that, as a freshman last year, just following in Elena's footsteps, she's been a great role model for me. And it's just pretty incredible to see the impact that she has in the game. Even if she's not scoring 25 every single game, she has an immense impact on the floor. And I think that that's something that she prides herself in, and that also we as a collective, we understand and we know how she plays very well. And she's a huge part of our success in that regard.
Got a couple of questions on Zoom. Let's first go to Jen Hatfield, who has her hand raised. Jen?
Jen Hatfield with the Next. Hey, everybody. If I could, I've got one for Harmony and then one for Elena and Abigail. Harmony, for you, Carrie's talked about how she decided to make herself your position coach this year. And I'm curious just how that time with her one-on-one has helped, strengthen your bond with her beyond where it already was coming in.
Yeah, thanks for that question. But when I found out that Coach Moore was my positional coach, I was like, oh, yeah, we're definitely winning a championship this year. I knew that she was going to put me through workouts that were tougher than the games. And I think that's also allowed me to kind of just calm down a little bit once the game actually, came to play. And I think also it allowed us to bond together and reach a level of relationship that we kind of not necessarily was lacking, but didn't really have in the past couple of years. And I think just her seeing my talents and me also trusting her is something that has helped the team in a lot of ways. And I'm super blessed and grateful for her. So yeah.
And then Elena and Abigail, kind of sticking on the theme of Carrie here, I know this is obviously all of your first NCAA tournament experience, but with her, having been to an Elite Eight with Michigan, I'm curious, how much she's, given you guys advice about the tournament or told you about her own experience or anything along those lines.
Honestly, I think Coach Moore hasn't talked about that much. She's very be where your feet are. So, definitely for her, having that experience as a coach, it's definitely great for what's to come, and it's gonna be her some confidence to remain constant and very calm during the game. But she hasn't talked about that much, especially to the team. But I feel like that's a good thing, she's just focused on what's upon us and not what happened in the past. So I think she's just ready to go tomorrow and ready to enjoy the present.
Yeah, I would second that. I think that obviously she has that experience, which has been super helpful in our preparation. But, as she always says, it's about us. So I think that she's putting most of her energy towards our prep for our game tomorrow right now, and using that experience, obviously, to our advantage. She knows how this game works, how March works. So that's going to be really helpful leading into our run.
Thank you, Jen. We'll now stay on Zoom and go to Rob McLam. Rob?
Yes, the question for all three. First of all, I hope everyone in Raleigh's welcoming y'all. I congratulate you on your success. I was sort of surprised. I know how well the Ivy League is, but to get 3 bids out of 8 teams, I think that's phenomenal. I was wondering when you all realized that 3 teams from the conference were going to make it, what was your reaction to that? How gratifying is it to see the league being recognized?
Abigail, we'll start with you.
Yeah, we found out at the selection show actually shortly after we watched our own selection. We stayed to see whether or not Princeton was going to get in, and I think that it was just we all cheered. We were so excited. For the league to be represented in that way, it's been a long time coming. I think that we've been so talented over the past, decades, but I think that it's finally coming to fruition, and to see all 3 of our teams get recognized for the hard work and just our talent and our schedules was really, really gratifying, and I think that we were all really happy. So,
Elena?
Yeah, along those lines, I feel like everyone has seen the Ivy League work that we have put in, and seeing that the 3 teams, we all have a 20+ winning season, and we beat some really good teams. We have some incredible seasons, not this year, but also a couple years ago too. It's just great to see finally the 3 of us in here. And as Abigail said, yeah, we were so excited for Princeton to get in, for Columbia to get in. At the end of the day, yeah, we were rivals back in the Ivy League, but now that we're here in the big stage, we just want to cheer on each other and hopefully make the farthest run we could ever make.
Harmony?
About time. Man, I think we have a lot of great teams in the Ivy League, and unfortunately, in the past it's only been a one bid league, and we are meant for this moment. This is something that we worked hard for, and I'm super proud and happy for all the other teams, Columbia and Princeton, that got in. Columbia's big win yesterday, that just goes to show that, stop trying to box us in. I feel like we're very talented, and just super, super grateful, and finally glad that it happened.
Questions in here, back here.
Just one more comment along those lines. One, I'm not on social media a lot. Somebody told me your social media was lit, so I checked it out. And there was something that you tweeted. You probably remember it. But somebody said oh man, she might go here or there, and you were like, of course not. Mm-hmm. I'm 10 toes down here. I don't care what happens. I'm here. In the age of NIL, and you have all these offers and you have all these temptations, how important was it for you to, one, say, yeah, I'm staying here, and how gratifying was it for you to actually get the job done this year and get to the tournament, get your title, and do it with this group when you have so many options available?
Yeah, I didn't want the easy way out. I'm super grateful for a lot of people that were interested in me, a lot of schools that were. At the same time, I feel like my relationship with my teammates and my coaches are worth more than any amount of money. And also, why be a part of history when you can make it? And I feel like we've done so much together collectively that I wouldn't change my journey for the world. And I feel like that's what makes my story that much greater. And I'm super grateful for that. I'm super grateful for the people that are sticking with me in this, and just understanding that I'm not doing this alone as well. Very gratifying, very flattered with the interest, but at the same time, I'd rather make history than be a part of it.
Elena and Abigail, what are your reactions when you hear stuff like that, and when you heard that Harmony was going to be back?
I'll go. I can start with this. I think my first reaction was excitement, because playing with Harmony is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, as I'm sure it's pretty clear watching our games. But I think that it just goes to show the kind of person she is on and off the court, the dedication that she has to the game, and to what Harvard women's basketball has been trying to do over her career and prior to that, and what we're finally bringing to reality now. It just speaks to her, and just her dedication to our team, and her teammates and coaches, and the love she has for the game, and it's just a pretty incredible experience to be a part of. So I thank her for coming back, because
Elena?
Her resume speaks by itself. There's not I can say that it's not already in there, but as a teammate and as really good friends of Harm, I can say that it's been amazing to share this journey with her, especially the 2 of us. We're both seniors, and getting to this our last year together, winning the Ivy League championship, and now being here means the world to us. Only the 2 of us have known all we have done to get here. So seeing making it happen in reality, it's just amazing. And honestly, for me, it's just a pleasure like to play alongside her. It makes everything easier. And at the same time, I mean, she's one of the best, like basketball players I haven't seen in their jersey. So it's been great to like make history with her.
I have a question for you, and it's kind of along the lines of NIL. We hear so much about NIL, the transfer portal, how you navigate through it. But I want to know how you navigate through being a student athlete at Harvard.
I knew that was coming.
It had to. Elena, we'll start with you since you're on camera.
I mean, it's definitely rough, but at the same time, like we knew what we were signing up for, and it's a privilege to like get to Harvard and get the best of both worlds. I mean, we're like a living proof of that, and I feel like the Harvard experience is just great. You get the best on the academic side. You meet like incredible people along the way, and at the same time, you get the best part of athletics. You really improve not only as a player but also as a person. So I think it's such an enriching experience, and it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Who wants next? You got to answer the question. Go
I
ahead.
I can go. I would like to mention we're on spring break right now, which is really nice because we're not missing classes. But I think that what Elena said is right. I think that coming to a school like Harvard, any of the Ivy Leagues, high academic schools, it's really rewarding to be able to see your hard work in the classroom and on the court, become worth it. And, you have all of your teammates and your coaches by your side doing it right alongside you. And just, the ball will stop bouncing at some point. So having, that academic degree and just those experiences from college to graduate with, I think are really important, and they enhance your experience as an athlete. And it's just been an incredible two years so far on both ends. So I wouldn't change it.
And I guess in closing, along the lines, it's very rewarding, very gratifying, just because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Not everybody gets accepted into Harvard, so it's a beautiful thing to see. And once you realize where you are and the people that are surrounding you and the support system that you have, it doesn't matter what you're going through. You know that you're going to be okay, and you know that you have a really great team behind you, whether it's basketball or not, supporting you throughout your entire life, the rest of your life. So it's very gratifying to accept, and I think the adjustment piece is just like any other university you go to. You're away from home, away from family. Just got to treat it as such, and just lean on your people, and I feel like we've done that. So.
Anybody else have any questions? Yes, one more. This is it.
No.
Huh? You tapping out?
After this one,
all right, you're tapping out.
This one was about Coach Moore, just because throughout this, I asked her about this yesterday, and I saw her in the corner. I'm sorry. She's done a lot to empower you guys on the court with an identity, and then as well as off the court as an identity. And I was wondering, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but she was the first black woman to lead the program to the tournament in Harvard history. And I was wondering what that meant to you guys, especially the culture she's built around you guys to be yourselves and be basketball players at the same time.
Harmony, you're on camera. You go first.
It means a lot. Representation matters. And I feel like Coach Moore, what she has done, just the 3 years she's been here, you'll think she's been here for 20. And I'm incredibly grateful for her. I'm thankful for her because she's done so much, not just for myself, not just for the team, but for the black community, for women, and for a lot of minorities. And I feel like that's the best role model you can ask for. I tell her every day she's my coach of the year because of what she's done on and off the court. And I truly stand behind that, and I feel like our entire team does as well. And the beauty in that is that she's not finished. She has a lot more to give, and I can't wait for everyone to see that.
Elena, you could go ahead.
Totally. I mean, I feel like Coach Moore is definitely inspirational. How she leads this team, how she proves herself every day. She's such a hard worker. Her work ethic, it's something that I've never seen before. I feel like you can tell, based on how we play and how she has built this team. So we're so proud of her. I mean, as Harmony said, she's not that yet, and we're so excited for what's to come. But for now, like, she's done a pretty good job, like, the only 3 years that she's been here to set the tone. And, I mean, she has built a championship program here at Harvard, and we're, like, so very proud of her.
Abigail, you get the last word.
Yeah, I really couldn't have said it better. I think that being a part of Coach Moore's first recruiting class is an experience that I will never forget. And every single day, I'm grateful for her as a person and a coach. You know, she cares about us so much on and off the court. What she's done in the game of basketball at Harvard is incredible, but that doesn't speak anything to the kind of person that she is, and just the love and care that she pours into us every single day. And I think everyone deserves to have a Coach Moore in their life, and I hope that they get to at some point. But yeah, she's a complete game changer in women's basketball, but specifically in all of our lives. I think that she has changed it in more ways than one.
Abigail, Elena, Harmony, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You are now free to go.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Howdy, Coach Moore.
How you doing?
Jeff.
Jeff?
Good to see you.
Carrie, great
Right
to meet you.
I remember when you were with the blue team. So.
Yes, that other team over there. Yeah.
Well, Coach Moore arrives, Coach Carrie Moore, receiving glowing remarks from her players. That's pretty awesome. Questions in here? If you do, raise your hand. We'll get the microphone to you. Identify yourself by name and affiliation. We do have some questions on the Zoom as well. But, Coach, I just want to first get your thoughts on not just being here, but having an opportunity to do something that Princeton hasn't done in a long time, and that's, win a game in the NCAA tournament. But to get back here, how difficult was it? Was the challenge, and what was the process like for you?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just watching, 3 of our players up here, I think just speaks to the growth over, 3 years for Elena and Harmony, and 2 years for Abigail. I've given everything, to this program. Our staff has given everything. These players have given everything to this program to really get to this point. So I think we're just incredibly overjoyed, to be here, to compete in this tournament, because, I think we have shown that we belong here all season long. It's funny because, I'm the only one staff and, players that has been in this tournament before. So really just trying to step back and just watch their joy every single day with everything that is happening. And I think that's just so special because you never forget your first time really in anything, but this specifically, you've worked so hard for it. So it just makes me so incredibly proud of where we're at and the growth, like I said, and just excited about, what's to come for this team.
How do you try to calm them that it's just another game, but it is the NCAA tournament?
I think that's just it's the same approach, that we've had all year long. Every game is the biggest game because it is the next game on our schedule, and this game will be no different, I guess. But that'll be my approach with it, and I'm sure with 2 seniors that are leading the way and a lot of upperclassmen that play, I hope that will be their state of mind as well.
Questions in the room? If not, we'll go to our Zoom, and Jen Hatfield has her hand raised. Jen?
Jen Hadfield with the next. Hey, Carrie.
Hi, Jen.
2 quick ones for you. First, just for you kind of getting off the plane, walking into this environment again, but now as a head coach, how meaningful was that for you to experience?
Yeah, so meaningful. I think this moment is just very full circle for me. Like, obviously, this is my first time as a head coach in the tournament, but doing it at Harvard, in this state where I used to coach as an assistant and have played here, many times before, and playing against, Michigan State, who is a hometown team that I grew up watching. So, there's just a lot going through my head, I feel, and I'm trying to process it all and write it all down and journal and get it all out, before game time. But I think the most important thing is just, our circle of team, staff, players, support team that are here with us, and really just making sure we're soaking this up and enjoying the moment. More than anyone, how hard we've worked to get here, and it means the world that we're finally here doing this.
And then just wanted to ask you about Harm real quick. With the role that she is on this month, averaging north of 30 points a game. Are there things you're trying to fine tune with her this week, or plan to emphasize before tip off, or is this kind of a time where you just kind of stay quiet and hope she keeps rolling here?
Yeah, I think it was kind of business as usual this week with her. We did our usual 2 individual workouts. We had our film session, 3 practices, including today's practice on the court. Talked about last weekend. Didn't talk too much about it. Really, turning the page and looking forward. Talked about what worked, maybe what didn't work as well, and areas in which we feel like she can be successful against Michigan State, and that we feel like our team can be successful against Michigan State. So, what I saw last weekend was nothing that I don't see on a typical day in practice. So it wasn't overly shocking, but I'm hopeful that she has another 1 but 2 games in her to do that as well.
Over here to the left.
Hi, I'm Julian. I'm from the Globe.
What's up, Julian?
Cool. 2 questions. One was kind of X and O. The other one was just like a fact check. Lord knows I need it. X and O was, how have you been, what's your satisfaction level with how the defense has performed in postseason play, especially in the tournament when you look and it's like, everybody who's here can more or less guard and is kind of leaning on it. Yeah. So, in what ways do you think you might have to dial up or adjust to somebody else's? And it just feels like that's what games come down to, as much as people like scoring and big numbers.
For sure. Yeah, the competitor in me is a little bit upset because after giving up 60 and almost 70 points in our Ivy League tournament, we're now 6th in the country in scoring defense instead of 1st. So, but I feel really good, obviously, with where we're at. We ended those games getting major stops, both the semifinal game and the championship game, getting huge, sideline out of bounds stops multiple times, not just once. And I think that speaks to, where we've been before this season in a lot of, close games with the schedule that we put together, but also just, our ability to, put 5 players on the floor that can really sit down and guard multiple positions and rebound at a high level. And that's what wins championships. That's what wins games in this tournament and in this month. And we will need it tomorrow against a really good Michigan State team that plays, a lot of guards that can get downhill and, do it all from 3, mid-range, and at the rim. So, but it's nothing that we haven't asked them to do, any other day, this year. So nothing new in terms of that category. Yeah. She did.
She really did. She actually did.
That's awesome.
So, and the second one was, I just wanted to fact check this. The story you mentioned the other day, they said that Dawn Staley sent a little snippet of the net to all of the coaches. I was wondering if she sent you one or not.
Yeah, so that actually happened 3 years ago, before I became a head coach. So I was a little sad about it, but maybe I'll shoot her a DM or something. See if she's got a couple. I think maybe she's got a net for me.
Over here to the right.
Hey, Coach. You've been here as a player. What are you specifically saying to the seniors, particularly Harm and Elena, about sort of energy levels, how people show up to the tournament, fans, players? Like, what are you talking to them about specifically?
Yeah. So I've never played in the tournament. I've only coached in it at the different places that I've been in. So they're experiencing something as a player that I never did. But I think from a coaching standpoint, just really trying to keep them steady, like enjoy the moment, be present, be where your feet are, but also understand the task at hand and not getting too high, not getting too low, and just be about the process. Like take it, 1 second at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 possession at a time. And, fortunately, these are conversations that we've had with them all year long. Like this is not new stuff that's coming out of my mouth. So I think it allows us to show up and, really take this all in, but also show up at our best, come tomorrow.
Stay to the right over here, Bob.
Bob Sutton with the Associated Press. When Robin was in earlier, she suggested you guys had a kind of a unique relationship at Western Michigan, and maybe you weren't too fond of her officiating in practice.
Oh, boy.
And, what can you tell us about that?
Well, first of all, don't tell my players because I get on them about complaining to us about being refs. But that's interesting. No, I just, again, I think this is like just very full circle, to have Robin as, my grad assistant my senior year and to now be playing her team, who's so good, my first time as a head coach. But yeah, she was great then. She, I think the grad assistant role is one that is, kind of that in between of an extension of the staff, but also, really close with the players. And I thought she handled that, really well. And I looked to her for, a lot of, coaching, but a lot of guidance, a lot of support, a lot of inspiration in moments. Because there was a lot going on that year for me. So, but to now, see her success in the business from afar, have always been rooting for her. And now to, be right here alongside of her on the sideline is really special.
One final question. We'll go to the Zoom. Rob McLam. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Rob McLam from Inside Pack Sports. First of all, welcome to Raleigh. I hope everyone's treating you well, ma'am. I am interested about the Ivy League and Harvard. Obviously, there's a duality with it. A lot of people don't perceive it as a strong league. You got 3 teams out of 8 in the tournament. And then, of course, Harvard is a national brand. It's not just a local brand. So can this thing grow? First of all, how proud are you of where it's at right now? And can this thing grow and expand in the next coming years?
Yeah, definitely. First of all, for those that don't think that the Ivy League is a strong conference, I mean, the fact that 3 of our 8 teams are in this tournament and one just getting a win yesterday for the first time in program history, I think speaks volumes about how good our league is. There are great players in this league. There are great coaches. And it's only going to continue to get better because we've worked so hard as a league to get to this point. And I can say that because I've been around for a while in the league, and I've seen it grow over time. And this is just the starting point. I feel like, with what we have and what we have coming back and, with just where we're at in terms of recruiting, like you said, the brand is the brand. Fortunately, I can pick up the phone and call top 100 kid, and they'll respond because it's Harvard. And that's one of the reasons why I'm excited to be here as the head coach, because I feel like we can recruit at a high level, and we can compete against anybody in the country, even with the ever-changing landscape of college athletics. But just like our player said, the ball stops bouncing at some point. So if you're smart, you need to be at a place where you get a great education and you can also play the game at the highest level. And that's exactly what we're showing you that you can do.
Coach Moore, we know you got to go to practice. We appreciate your time, and welcome to the NCAA tournament.
Thank you, guys, very much. Appreciate it.
Harvard practices at 4:30. The first 15 minutes are open to the media.